Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, human beings of all ages, welcome to your new favorite podcast, Vibrations with Vito. And yes, I said Vito because that's how my family and myself pronounce my name. You're going to say it and read it as Vito, and that's okay. Vito, it's still the same me. Thank you for tuning in. This is long overdue. Very long overdue. If you know me, I've been excited to do this for a while. I had some, what would you call it, some roadblocks in the way, but I made the detour. I took a right, and now I'm on my way. On my way. There's no stopping me now. You are going to hear me run my mouth for a long time. Just know that I'm already enjoying myself. I've been doing this for less than a minute already, and I'm enjoying myself. So I hope you enjoy yourself. I'm excited. I am fully equipped. Within 24 hours, I got everything that I needed to do this. I got a beautiful camera. Shout out to Sony. You're doing wonderful things. I got a beautiful laptop. Shout out to Apple. I didn't want to get an Apple. A Mac, I should say. I didn't want to get a Mac. I don't know why. But I got a Mac. Found out it's exactly what I needed. Has some things that I already need. Boom. So shout out to Apple. And I got this mic. This beautiful mic. And it's blue. If you know me, I love the color blue. It's not quite my favorite kind of blue. This is more like a sky blue, powder blue. This reminds me of my the color of my walls when I was a child. It was painted this color. If you know, you know. But I like it more like a electric / royal blue, you know? Kind of like this. Forza Inter. We won 5-0 today. That's neither here nor there. But thank you for tuning in. I am going to enjoy myself, of course, with a glass of wine. Like a gentleman. Like a true gentleman. This is called Bella Sera, and that means either you could interpret it as a good evening, like you're going to have a good evening, or it's a great evening or a wonderful evening. But that's exactly what the hope is. I had a horrendous morning today. I had a good afternoon, and I'm going to have a wonderful evening. So here we go. Here's to this. I'm usually pretty terrible at these corkscrew wine bottles, so we're going to give it a shot here. Hopefully, for the pod, I can go 1 for 1. That would be impeccable. We'll see, though. So stay tuned. You're already staying tuned. Here we go. Hey! Oh, that was probably really loud. I'm sorry. But that doesn't happen often, people. It doesn't happen often. It happened tonight. Thank you. Golf claps. Thank you, Diener. Boom. Put that to the side. Shout out to Mr. Pineapple. He's usually in the front, but I started to realize he glows a lot. And it gets a little messed up. So I'm going to put him off to the side. I'm going to have this wonderful glass of Pinot Grigio. You know, much needed after a treacherous day, to say the least. Salud. Wonderful. Nothing better than some Pinot Grigio. I call myself a wine connoisseur. I love wine, all kinds of wine. I don't discriminate. It could be red, it could be white, it could be Moscato, it could be Rosé, it could be Pinot Grigio, Pinot Noir. Does not matter. The only wine I don't really like, I would say, is homemade wine. My mother's uncle, I believe, makes homemade wine, and he gives us like huge jugs of wine. They're very strong, very strong. But they're not good. They're very bitter. Very bitter. So I'm just not a fan. But Pinot Grigio, probably my favorite. That's what I'll say. I like red. I like white, but I'd probably prefer white. Majority of the time, if I'm going to buy a bottle of wine, as I did this evening, I'd probably get white. But yeah, that's me and wine are quite fond of one another. And I'm actually known for chugging wine. If you know, you know, and I'm probably going to do that right now. I'm going to finish this glass rather quickly, I should say. So welcome to Vibrations with Vito. And we're going to immediate refill. Wait a minute. Let's see. Ready? We're classy. We're real classy. We won't see too many of that because we got some things to do this evening. The boys play today, and the boys are the Sixers. They play at 7 o'clock. Shout out to James Harden. Shout out to Joel Embiid. Shout out to Philadelphia. But, while I'm looking at it, this podcast is unofficially sponsored by High Chews, but I guarantee you that's gonna change. They're gonna sponsor me. They need to. I have been their biggest fan, their biggest customer since 2013, 2014. We are in 2022. Excuse me. I gotta burp away from the microphone each time. Can't have that. But I am their biggest ambassador, I would say. I was saying I was a wine connoisseur. I am the king of High Chews. I'll go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that. This is the greatest candy of all candy. I would say it's kind of like a Starburst, but it's better than a Starburst. It's chewy like a Starburst, but the flavors are impeccable. This so happens to be mango. I'm not going to open it because this is for later, but just know I'm going to devour this later. But shout out to High Chew. Go to your nearest 7-Eleven, or if there's an H-Mart around the corner from you, go get High Chews. They come in bags. They come in sticks like this. I call it a stick. You can call it a pack, whatever you want. Shout out to High Chews. Sponsor us. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. I was talking about the High Chews. Oh, okay. So, I am eager. I am ready. I'm so on board for this. You're going to be seeing a lot of me. I hope you don't get sick of me. I don't think you will. But if you do, it is what it is. I don't think you will, though, because, like the name of the show, I'm sending vibrations. Good vibrations, real vibrations. Some could be sad, but they're honest. They're honest vibrations. I've experienced almost every emotion today. But we are in the right direction. The camera's on. Dina's looking at me. This mic is looking at me. We're doing good. I'm feeling good. So yeah, good vibrations. This is Vibrations with Vito. Just welcome. I appreciate you tuning in. So I was a little worried how long I'd be able to do these, how long I'd basically be able to talk to myself, and my good friend Dina. But I was just worried about the time, like you could say worried, you could say nervous, anxious, all that kind of stuff. But so I was like, what kind of material am I gonna have? And then my Lord and Savior said, you know what? I'm going to give you some material. He gave me some material last night for today. I'll get into that. And he gave me some material this morning for today. Excuse me, my chin just bumped the microphone. Let me clench my thirst. So yeah, let's get with last night. Let's start with last night first. Okay, buckle up. This is a crazy story, actually. This is unbelievable. I never had something like this happen to me a day in my life. But here we go. Last night, I was with my best friend, Jarrett. We were hanging out for a little bit. He decided that we should go to the bar and get a drink or two. And actually, the goal was to play some pool. I love pool. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. We go to the nearest bar. We get there. It is packed. And when I mean packed, I mean the pool tables were packed. It wasn't that packed at the actual bar itself. So we're like, all right, we'll just wait for one to open up. Doesn't happen. No one gets off the pool tables. So we're sitting there. We're drinking. He orders a shot of Hennessy because he's a savage. Hennessy and myself do not get along. We used to be very fond of one another, but we are not anymore. The smell of it makes me want to vomit. Anywho, he orders a shot of Henny. I get a Corona. He gets a Corona. We're enjoying ourselves. We're watching some sports. We're laughing. We're having a good time. The music, it went from Trey Songz, You Gonna Think I Invented Sex, which is a banger. And then it was just heavy metal for the next 4 songs. And then here comes like 1980s hip-hop, and I don't remember what the song was, but it was good. It got me moving. Here comes the heavy metal again. And so the vibes are a little off already. But I'm with my homie. We're having a good time. We're drinking. He orders chicken fingers and fries. All right? I should say chicken tenders. Classic. Literally one of the go-tos. Classic. They come out. He starts eating. He goes, you want a tender? I go, you know what? Yeah, I want a tender. So I eat a tender. I'm having some fries. He asks for another honey mustard because they didn't give him enough. We get another honey mustard. Now he's down to 2, 1.5 actually. 1 full tender and a half tender. Then some gentleman, let's call it what it is, a heroin-addicted white comes up to Jarrett. And he says, where you been? That's the first thing he starts by, where you been? Jarrett looks at him and he goes, I've been around, man, where you been? The guy says, nowhere. Jarrett goes, that's a good place to be. How do you answer that? So he goes, yeah, that's a good place to be. Dude instantly goes, can I get that tender? Jarrett looks at him and he goes, these are my last 2, bro. These are my last 2 tenders. Clearly, this guy was starving, okay? Clearly, there was something wrong with him. He was very intoxicated. Right off the bat, you could tell. The way his eyes were like this, he was, bobbing. He wasn't staying still, whatever. So he really asked another man, a stranger, for a chicken tender. Chicken tenders are like pieces of gold, all right? When you don't share the tenders unless that's somebody I know and somebody I cherish. Anywho, I'm on this side, Jarrett's here, and this guy's over here. So I'm on this side, and I don't know if Jarrett knows this guy or not. I'm thinking how he started the conversation, where you been? I'm like, oh, this guy knows Jarrett. Maybe they played baseball together. Maybe they played football. I don't know. So I don't know that yet. Jarrett, being a gentleman that he is, he goes, you can get the half. He gives this man, a stranger, keep that in mind, a stranger, half of his chicken tender. This guy doesn't hesitate. As soon as he hears the word yes from Jarrett, he goes and he viciously grabs his chicken tender, half. Shoves the whole half of chicken tender in his mouth. He starts chewing like a camel eating some grass or something. He's real obnoxious with his chewing. Pardon me. He sits down instantly right after he is indulging in this chicken tender. As soon as he sits down, he looks at Jarrett and he goes, are you gay? Jarrett goes, what? What? And he says it again. He doubles down. Are you gay? That's the first thing that comes out of this man's mouth. That's how he wanted to engage. First thing he engages is, can I have half of your chicken tender? Now he's asking if Jarrett is a homosexual. So he sits down. He asks Jarrett that twice. Jarrett now looks at me like, did you hear this motherfucker? And I'm looking at him and I'm like, I did hear him. So he asks again, are you gay? And Jarrett goes, no. No, I'm not gay. And the guy goes, well, it's okay if you are gay. I'm just asking, are you gay? And Jarrett goes, no, I'm not gay. And they're going back and forth, literally back and forth for a couple seconds, going, no, I'm not gay. Are you gay? No, I'm not gay. And he goes, it doesn't matter if you're gay. And he goes, I'm only asking because he looks gay. Talking about me. He said, I look gay. That's why he asked Jarrett if he was gay, because I apparently look like a homosexual. So now I'm disrespected. Not because there's anything wrong with being gay. I don't care. As a human being, you can do whatever you want to do. Be happy. I want people to be happy. I'm not gay. Not even in the slightest. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with, I'm not gay. Not even in the slightest. So I'm like, now I'm disrespected. I look gay? How do I look gay? I had a black sweatshirt on. I had my watch, I look like a regular Joe Schmo. I'm not on Jared. We're not holding each other. We're not doing anything abnormal. So my homie, we're laughing. We're having a couple beers. Anywho, he goes, yeah, He looks gay. And now Jared like half laughs, like, what the hell did he just say? And now I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm like that's so disrespectful, right to my face. Am I gay? And I go, no, I don't. So I'm like, I look gay? And he goes, yeah, you do look gay. And I was like, well, I'm not. I'm like, I was like, how do you sound right now? I look at Jared. We're looking back at each other, dumbfounded. And then I go, who are you? Because now I'm totally aware that neither of us know who this man is. I should say he was rather stocky, had a full beard, blonde hair, blonde beard, like tribal tattoos. It would be on his left. Tribal tattoos on his left arm. But stocky dude. And he's sitting down and he's just saying, he's asking Jared if he's gay, telling me that I look gay. Whatever. So we clearly established neither of us are gay. And now whatever his plan was backfired. And now he's like, well, neither of these two guys are gay and I probably just made a fool out of myself. So now his alternative was, we have to fight. We have to get in an altercation right here in this bar in front of everybody. So now he looks at me and he goes, whether you're gay or not, we can fight. I'm about whatever. And he stands up. Now he's standing up and he's real brolic. He's flexing his shoulders. He's in a white shirt and it's like a small, and he's clearly a large. You know what I mean? Like, wear your own size. Anyway, he's like, we can fight. I'm about whatever. And I'm like, you don't want to fight. You really don't want to fight. Jared alone fun fact about Jared, if you don't know Jared, he does not need any assistance or any push to get into an altercation. He's all about it. Something like wine makes me happy, pizza makes me happy, fighting makes Jared happy. Deep down, he loves fighting. He's very good at it, I should say that. I've seen him in action a few times. That's neither here nor there. So I am trying to talk this guy. I'm always the sensible one. Whenever there is some kind of resistance or confrontation between my friends and random people, or people we know, it doesn't matter. I am always like trying to be the voice of reason. Like, hey man, I think you should just back up, turn around. You want me to order you some chicken tenders? I can order you some chicken tenders. Like, just get out of here. We don't want to beat your ass tonight, okay? Because that's really what it came down to. We weren't going to fight. We were going to beat his ass. And, like, I don't want to be banned from this bar that's around the corner because I had to beat somebody up in the middle of... Anyway, it was just totally avoidable. So, like, I'm asking this guy, like, yo, we're not gay here, okay? Why don't you just simmer down, okay? Billy, or whatever his name was. I have no idea what his name was. If I had to guess, it was like Billy or Freddie or some weird. He looked like a weird fellow. But so he's like literally, now he wants to fight. And Jared, I look at him, and Jared's already got a clenched fist. Jared's a lefty. He was showing him his right shoulder, so like literally his left arm was ready. Jared was literally going to put this guy to sleep for no reason. Like, not for no reason, like he was disrespecting us, but I mean like, this guy could have just stay wherever you were at. Dance, do whatever you were doing. It doesn't matter. Just go about your business. We were minding our business, trying to have a good time. So Jared is ready to knock this guy out. And thankfully, we had already paid our bill. We were kind of just like prolonging, trying to settle down, like, yo, you ready to go? Like, it wasn't that time yet in our eyes. But now with this going on with old Billy, it was clearly time to go. So, thankfully, our bill was paid. So me and Jared look at each other, we're like, we should get out of here. Because this is about to get ugly. So we both agree, we're going to go. So I stand up. Jared stands up. I go, bro, we're leaving. Now, like I told you, I'm always trying to be the nice guy. Sometimes it's not warranted, but this time I was just like, I really just didn't want to get into anything because it would have been way worse than it should have been. So I go, we're leaving. Have a good night. Get home safe. Clearly he was intoxicated. I turn around. And for me, if we have some kind of confrontation, like clearly this guy wanted to fight already. if we have some kind of conversation and you turn your back to me, I see that as a big sign of disrespect. So I turned my back to him because, like, we were leaving. As soon as I turned my back, the thought came into my head that he was going to rock me when I turned my back. And I was like, I might go to sleep as soon as I turn my back. I'm like, I really was thinking like he might swing on me because clearly like this guy's plan, whatever happened, it didn't work out. So I turned my back and that thought crept into my head. But at the same time, I said, if he hits me, I know Jared's going to like murder this guy. Not literally, because we are good citizens. Anyway, that he would get my back and this guy would pay. And that would be all right. If he were to do any damage to me, Jared would have done 2 times the amount of damage to him. So that would have been okay. So I turned my back. Now I'm looking at Jared's back, and we both walk out of this bar. As soon as the door closes, we go, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened? So I'm walking. I turn around because I'm like, is he following us? He doesn't follow us. We get back into the car. We sit in the car for about 2 minutes of just, now we're both laughing. We are laughing for like 2 minutes straight. Like no one has ever come up to me and said, you look gay. And no one's ever came up to Jared and said, are you gay? It was just brand new for both of us. We go home. We go back to Jared's house because my car was at Jared's house. And then we dispersed from there. But, on the drive to Jared's, I started thinking, like, what was his motivation? My thought is that this guy thought he scored with 2 homosexuals and was going to have a freak nasty party with these 2 other homosexuals. I think he was gay, and he wanted to see if we were gay. Like I said, there's no problem being gay. If he wanted to be gay, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, there's a way of going about it. I think you can. This is since 2020. This has been a quote that I love to live by. Read the room. Read the room. No matter what room you're in, peep the energy. Peep the energy. Okay. That's that. So he didn't read the room. He didn't read the room at all, and he was just very disrespectful. That's neither here nor there. I rambled a little bit. So my thought process is that he thought he scored with these 2 men. And clearly, when he realized that that was not the case, his only response was, well, we have to fight now. We have to fight. And thankfully, by the grace of God, when we told him we were going to leave, he didn't follow us. Because literally, if he followed us outside, we would have beat his ass. Like, literally, we would have beat his ass, and it would have been a big deal. And I'm glad that I was able to go to sleep last night with nothing on my mind. Same thing with Jared. Hopefully, honestly, no matter what happened, hopefully that guy got home and went to bed safe as well. Because he was very drunk, so I hope, like I said, heroin addicted white. Hopefully he got home. Hopefully he's all right. If he is gay, I hope he finds a male that he likes tonight. That it's consensual, and everybody agrees. Anyway, okay, that's the one story. I've never had that happen to me a day in my life. So this morning, so that was more like a funny story because at the end of the day, nothing happened, and that's a story I'm never gonna forget. That was the first time it's ever happened to me. No one's ever mistaken me for homosexual, but it is what it is. So, this morning, let me. I'm rather parched here. Hold on. This morning, I'm off today. I work this weekend, so I'm off the Friday and I'm off the Monday. It's actually like a pretty weird schedule, but it is what it is. Every other weekend. So next weekend I'm off. Today I'm off. Sleep in. It's nice. Breakfast with my mother. Nice. Shout out to my mother. I love you deeply. My cousin, her godson. I like how I tied that in there. Her godson is in the hospital. He had successful surgery done on his stomach. They tied his small intestines, or a piece of his small intestine, to his large intestine. He had some problems. But everything's taken care of now. Everything went smooth by the grace of God. Thank you, Lord Jesus. My man he's safe though, so that's good. I wanted to see him today. Nobody in his family is vaccinated, so they can't go visit him. I'm vaccinated, so I wanted to keep him company. My man's lonely, so I go, I'll come. Mind you, it's a pretty hefty drive from my house to the hospital that he was at. 40 minutes to be specific. So I left around 10:30 this morning. I got there at the hospital, or the place he was at, I should say, at 11:05 in the morning. Not bad. I wanted to be home by 1:45. But so I get there. I'm in the car still. Now, my issue was, do I want to park in the parking garage of the hospital? Or do I want to try to find street parking? Or my sister was telling me about this app called Meter Up, where you pay. Never heard of this app before. You put your license plate in. It's like a kiosk kind of thing. You'll see them posted up on the side. And you go, you put your license plate in there, you do whatever, and you press park. So like it knows, and then it times you for like how long you were there, and then it would charge you the right amount according to the time. I didn't want to do that because, to be honest, I didn't want to go on a wild goose hunt looking for these signs like, oh, this is where we do Meter Up. I downloaded the app. I did everything that she said. Excuse me. I hope you didn't hear that. Did you hear that nice and loud? It is what it is. Okay, my apologies. Time out. Ready? That's nice. Okay. So yeah, I'm about to pull up, and I second guess myself. Something that I do rather often. I hate it about myself, but I do it. It's a thing I'm working on. My sister says, circle around the block. You might find something. So from 11:05 to 11:43, I am circling around the block. Let me say that. Almost 40 minutes of circling around the block. I'm in a place where I'm not familiar. I don't like driving in the city, number one. Other drivers in the city worry me. The pedestrians don't care. They'll cross the street no matter who. It could be a Ferrari coming down 60 miles per hour. They are like, I got to get to the other side right now. I don't like it. So I'm circling around the block. I'm constantly putting in, like I clearly passed where I needed to be. I'm putting it back in my GPS. It's taking me different places. The place I needed to be at was Penn Medicine Presbyterian, okay? It wasn't the hospital itself. I did not know that. Okay? I did not know that. So once I left I was at Penn Medicine at 11:05. I was where I needed to be. After my sister, I'm not blaming this on her. Part of it is her fault, but majority of it is my fault. Now I have to find the. I'm driving, and I'm never on my phone. You're never gonna find me texting and driving ever. A text can wait. But now I got to do the GPS. I can't pull over. There's nowhere to pull over. I'm in the streets of Philadelphia. Nowhere to pull over. I type in Pennsylvania Hospital parking garage. That does not take me to Penn Medicine parking garage where I needed to be. As soon as I typed it in, it said 15 minutes. So I'm like, maybe that's all the lights. It's everything included. Maybe that's right. Even though I felt like I was only a couple minutes away. Which I was. I go to this new parking garage. Okay? 15-minute drive. My sister FaceTimes me while I'm driving. Not answering it. I press the X right away because I need my GPS more than I need to breathe right now. I'm freaking out. I'm a very nervous person. I'm very anxious all the time. Mostly. I'm pretty calm right now. I feel great. I get to the destination. I find a parking garage. Okay, now I feel good. I'm ready to go see my cousin, brighten his day. He's gonna brighten my day. I just had a pretty hectic. I don't like driving a lot, especially where places where I'm not familiar. I get into the parking garage. I find a place. Now I have pretty good depth perception, vision wise. I have glasses. I don't have the best vision, but I can see what's in front of me, how close it is, and so on and so forth. I pull into the spot, and I thought I was very far away from the spot. So I barely tapped the gas to move in. Next thing I know, I hear, boom! Anyone who knows me, I care about my car so much. I care about my car so much. Shout out to Blue Cheese. She's beautiful. She's in relatively mint condition besides this, what just happened. I hit the wall of the parking garage. Mind you, this is all cinder blocks and concrete. So I hit this red wall, and I hear it. And that, you can just hear like maybe that was a love tap. No, this was a serious like, ouch. My car was like, ah. Now I put my head down instantly, and I'm like, oh, that hurt. That hurt. Like on top of all this chaotic stuff, I almost cursed. I try to control myself. All this chaotic stuff that just happened. Now I just hurt my most prized possession besides, material thing. I love my car. I paid for my car. It's almost done being paid off. She's almost 5 years old. I love her so much. Anywho, I put the car in park. I get out, and I instantly see there's scrapes, there's red marks all underneath my grill. Like, you can only see it if you look under, but I know it's there, so it bothers me. But so on top of that, all this could be avoidable. I wasn't even at the right place. So hold on. So I hit my car into this thing. This happened. This is, knock on wood, first time anything has ever happened to my car. Actually, I just lied to you. This one was my fault. The second time something else happened. I'll get into that a little later. Maybe another time. So I get out. I assess the damage. I'm like, Jake from State Farm. I'm like, oh my God, that was bad. I call my cousin. I go, yo, I'm here. I'm about to leave the parking garage. I'm about to walk into the building. I'll see you in a few. I go downstairs. I get the ticket. I ask the lady. I go, do you know where the building? I asked the specific building. I go, do you know where the building is? And she goes, he can tell you. She pushed me to some guy who's behind her. Excuse me. He comes out. I would assume he was Jamaican. He did, he kind of had that Jamaican accent. I think I'm pretty accurate with that. He tells me, you see where that blue awning is? I look, I see the blue awning. I go, yeah. He goes, that's where you need to be. I go, thank you so much, sir. God bless you. I said, God bless you. I walk to the building, or the blue awning. I read the sign. It is not the building that I need to be at. So I go, maybe, he misunderstood me. I go in the building. I go ask somebody who has a badge. Penn Hospital, whatever it said. It said something Penn. I saw that. I asked her. She goes, you're supposed to be in West Philly. I go, where am I? She goes, North Philly. I go, huh? Now, you ever feel that feeling where you fucked up? I fucked up. And now I'm like, oh, come on. Come on, man. Come on. So now I'm upset. And I call my cousin. I go, yo, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not where you are. He goes, well, where are you? So I explain everything. I'm not where I need to be. He clearly sees I'm under duress or distress. I told him I bumped into my car. I bumped my car. I'm upset. He goes, dog, don't even worry about it. I'm going to be home on Sunday. Come see me on Sunday, where he lives, around the corner. And he goes, I'm going to go to sleep anyway. I think he lied there. He just wanted he wanted to make me feel better. He goes, I'm just going to go to sleep anyway. He's been tired. I understand he just had surgery. So he goes, don't worry about it. Just go home. Let me know when you get home. So I go. Now, it's cold, right? It's cold. So that walk of shame from the street into the parking garage. Mind you, I'm on the 4th level of the parking garage. So I'm walking. I'm doing all these spirals. I get back to my car. I look at my car. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hurt my car. Now I got to get in my car. I turn my car on, and I drive home. Actually, I lied just now. I drive to Jarrett's house, and me and Jarrett hung out for a few minutes. More than a few minutes, but you know, if you know, you know. And then I went home. But he calmed me down. He's very what's the word? I don't know. When I'm in distress, he's very peaceful, and I think it works both ways. When he's in distress, I'm the peaceful guy. It works both ways. Shout out to Jarrett. Love you, dog. But so I go home, and now I'm very angry. Like, I just wasted my whole morning. I'm off. I wasted my entire morning trying to do something good, and it never worked out. Like, so I tweeted, nothing ever goes my way, because that's how I felt. I feel like majority of the time when I want to do something and I have a good thought and good intentions, it doesn't work out that way. Another example, and Jarrett's involved here too, something occurred, and I felt that a good thing to do was to bring pizza to this person's house, Jarrett's girlfriend's house. So it was like a nice gesture. So I go to my uncle's restaurant. I get an extra large pizza, half pepperoni, half plain, because I did a little bit of digging, and that's what they like. So I brought this pizza. My GPS, maybe that's the common denominator. My GPS stinks. My GPS stinks. It didn't tell me, in this specific scenario, it didn't tell me where I was, or where the house was. I had to be, let's say, 44. I was at like 28. So I'm like, I got to walk this way, common sense. And I walked that way. Next thing I know, I was at like 64. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So I see somebody outside. I'm just like, I'm a regular citizen. If I need help, I'm an honest guy. If I need help, I don't care how it makes me sound. I'm going to ask for help. So I asked this gentleman. He had a cowboy hat on, older guy. Seems like a majority of my assumption would be that majority of old people are nice. And he seemed on the older side, I would guess 65, 70. He had a cowboy hat on. I go, excuse me, sir. I'm a gentleman. He turns around, eyebrows raised. He's ready for me to ask something. I go, do you know where, I don't remember the number of the house. Let's say it's 40. I go, do you know where 40 is? I'm on the right street. I know that. He goes, you see where the double-story house is? I go, yeah. Or the two-story house, excuse me. The two-story houses, they got a trailer. I go, yeah. He goes, directly across the street from that is 40. I go, thank you, sir. Have a good night. God bless you. Mind you, I'm holding a pizza. No mask on my face, no hood on. I don't look like a hoodlum or anything. I have a pizza. I said, thank you, God bless you. Now I continue to walk towards where he told me. And he was right. I see the trailer across the street. That's 40. I walk into the house, knock on the door. They let me in. I'm in the house for 10, 15 minutes. I get out. I go to my car. I drive away. Later that night, I get a text from Jarrett's girlfriend. She sends me a screenshot. It says, be on the lookout. There's a guy with a pizza box who's up to no good. It says police were called. So the specific neighborhood, they have an Instagram page. The lady, the wife of the guy I talked to, made this post and said, actually, I'm going to look to see if I can find the exact text. I think I can. I'm doing a lot of vicious scrolling right here.
Take your time, we can edit it out.
You're right. I should go to Jarrett because I know it's in Jarrett. Here we go. I got it. This is the exact post. A guy just came up to my house on said street. I'm not going to say the street. Carrying a pizza. We told him we didn't order it. He asked where the house number was. Told him same side of the street but a little further down. He went running with the pizza, jumped in his car, and drove away. He did not stop at the house. Police were called. Keep a lookout. He was up to no good. First off, I didn't go right to my car. I went walking to the house that they said to go to. We didn't have a conversation about, I didn't ask him if they've ordered a pizza or not. And he didn't say, hey, we didn't order it. So there's some fabrication here in this post. But so, I didn't know that that specific night the police were looking for me. And I'm just trying to drop a pizza off and say, like, hey, this isn't, like, you know, whatever. But I'm sitting, moral of the story, when I'm trying to do good, it doesn't work out. Like, something's always in the way, and nothing happens. Oh, my God. Very crazy life that I live here, honestly. I'm always trying to do good, and it doesn't work out that way. Let me get off topic here. I'm telling too many stories. Today is March 4th, 2022. Inter played today. We won 5-0. We jumped back into first place. It's just a soccer team that, if you know me, I'm a fanatic about it. But we won today. We're back into first place. So life's great there in that aspect. March is women's, is it National History Month? Is that what it is? Women's History Month. I think that's exactly what, like, the exact title. Women's History Month. And last month was Black History Month. And little side note, I think it's a little messed up that we gave them the shortest month. I'm just going to put that out there. I think it's very messed up. They deserve 30 days, 31 days. They deserve a lot more, honestly. But Women's History Month is in March, and that's so because when they did the Women's March in 1919 or 1920, they did that in March. I think it was yesterday was the day that they did that, March 3rd. And I'm just going to get on a little rant here. I can't believe that I live in a country where, for majority of the history of this country, women had no say in anything. I think that's absurd. Like, literally, women's only reason for being alive to the early American man was just to raise children and cook a meal. I can't believe that I lived in a time. This country was established in 1776. It's 2022. Women just got the right to vote in 1920. They just got the right to vote for their president in 1920. What sense does that make? None. The answer is none, people. None. Let me take a drink. I'm parched. I've been yapping. I've been running my mouth. I'm actually going to finish it off. It's absurd to me that it took so long. From 1776 to 1920, it took so long for women just to get the right to vote for somebody, let alone have equal rights to, like, do anything. There's still steps to be taken. I think they should be equally paid. I don't think a man should make... Seriously, I'm not trying to... This is how I feel. They should be paid how they should be paid. Not, a man shouldn't make more just because he's a man. If a woman does a job well, or even if she does, a woman should just be paid accordingly like everybody else. Like, I shouldn't make $15 an hour and a woman make $14.75 because she's a woman. Make the same amount. I'm going to end that there. But so what I wanted to talk about is how important women have really been to this country. They've made some important inventions. I wrote some down. I'm going to give you some facts because they don't get the credit that they deserve. Here we go. Number 1, Mary Anderson invented windshield wipers in 1903. Think about how important that is. I hate driving in the rain. I really do. I love that sound. I hate driving in the rain. But think about how the early days, I don't remember can you Google, Miss Dina, I appreciate you greatly. Can you Google when the first automobile was created? I want to say, without knowing, I want to say like 1890 something. But so, what's the? 1886. Gosh, I'm good. 1886, the first automobile was made. 1903, the windshield wiper comes out. So think about from that time, 1886 to 1903. If it rained, what did they do? They just didn't drive that day? Because try driving and not using your windshield wipers when it's raining. It's very difficult. And if you drive like me, my windshield is tinted. All my windows are tinted, so it's rather difficult. So windshield wipers. Number 1, shout out to Mary Anderson. Excuse me. Number 2, Josephine Cochran invented the dishwasher. 1872. Thank you, Josephine. Think about that. Before that, they were just scrubbing with their hands. I'm not going to get into that. That's a great invention. Number 3, this one's important. Margaret Wilcox, car heater. 1893. You said 1886? They did the first automobile? 1893. 7 years later, they invented the heater. Imagine that. It's 20 degrees outside. It's probably about 17 degrees down here. It's rather cold down here, people. It is rather cold. I got my Uggs on. My tootsies are freezing. So the car heater, I was abusing that today. When I was leaving my walk from the failed mission to go see my cousin, the heat was blasting. But okay, shout out to Margaret. Shout out to Josephine as well. Here we go. Florence Parpart. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. She invented the electric refrigerator, 1914. Okay, Flo. Big deal. That's a big deal. Shout out to her. Central heating. Alice Parker, 1919. The year right before, or the year right after the first pandemic. The Spanish-American flu. Fun fact, it didn't originate in Spain. The facts is nobody wanted to say they had any cases. And Spain was like, we're not going to lie to you. So they were the first people to report this crazy flu spreading, hence the name Spanish flu. But it's called the Spanish-American flu. So Alice, what was it? What did I just say? Oh, Alice Parker, Central Heating, 1919. Catherine Blodgett, that's how I'm going to pronounce it, Blodgett. She invented the low reflection glass, a.k.a. helped make glasses. So I owe her my life. That was what year? 1935. 1935. She's wonderful. Since the age of 6, I've been wearing glasses. I don't think that was necessary. I think my eye doctor, he's been the same eye doctor since I was 6 years old. I think he kind of, I don't want to say he made my vision worse, but he made my eyes more reliant on glasses. He jumped the gun. Well said, Dina. I don't know if you could hear her. Next time she's going to have her own mic, I promise. But yeah, so she, my phone went dead. She invented the low refraction glass that makes, like I can see out of these glasses. But so I think that I was a little reliant on glasses since the age of 6. I played soccer my entire life, basically. And when it was time to play a game, I just went like this. And because I needed to find the same color jersey that I had on and that big ball that everybody's kicking around. Everything else, I'd do without. Like if I looked to the sideline, I could never see my mom or my sister or my dad if he was there. I couldn't see him. But I just needed to find the ball and my teammates. That was that. Okay. Maria Beasley created or invented the life raft in 1880. Fun fact about me, I am terrified of the water. Let me say this, when I can't stand in the water. So one of my fears is being stranded in the middle of the ocean. So when I went on a cruise, I was about 8 or 9 when I went on the cruise with my family. They showed us, like, just in case shit goes south, this is what you're supposed to do. So I was like picturing the movie The Titanic, like when things went awry. They had to get into the boats, the mini boats and all that stuff, the life rafts. So Maria Beasley is the reason that we have life rafts, and that was in 1880, so shout out to her. And Aunt Jemima, a.k.a. now the Pearl Milling Company, because, they had to change the name, and I'm in full support, I guess, because if they felt it was the right decision, and it is what it is. If there was some racism behind it, I'm all for it. Like, let's get rid of that. If saying Aunt Jemima was racist, I don't want to say Aunt Jemima anymore. But I know it's called Pearl Milling Company now. Okay, but the business itself, Aunt Jemima, was based off a real person, and that person was called Nancy Green. So Nancy Green helped a lot with Aunt Jemima. Like, I forget the full story. That's my fuck up. The full story on Nancy Green, she was a slave, and she was a really good cook. I don't remember the whole, the basis of it. But Nancy Green, and there was no year on that because no one wrote that. Nobody decided to write that one down. But Nancy Green. Moral of the story. Shout out to all the women. Let me not say all the women. The good women. There's a difference. You know. So all the good women, like Dina, God bless her, my mother, my sisters, all my aunts, my beautiful grandmother, God rest her soul, the good women, shout out to you. And you are important in my heart. I have so much respect for women. You ever seen that Tupac video? When Tupac Shakur, rest in peace, when he was, I want to say right after he filmed the movie Juice, he's recorded and he's saying, I have this much respect for women. And then it was like they made their own video, and then it was like he said he had a haircut like hair, and then he said I have this much respect for women, and then it was Tupac when he was on death row with Suge Knight and Snoop Dogg and and he goes, bitches ain't shit, we don't love them hoes. That's just a side. I thought that was funny. But no, I respect women, all women. Like, you get my respect until you show me otherwise. But I'm not going to ever disrespect a woman. She would have to, like, murder my family for me to disrespect her. But shout out to all the women. It's Women's History Month. So you deserve it. Women deserve more than a month, and African Americans deserve more than a month. Like, and they give them the shortest month. Come on, man. We need to do better as a country. I've been running my mouth for quite some time now. But let me tell you, the time has flown by. I'm having fun. I think that's why. I'm genuinely having fun. I'm so equipped. I got equipment. I have Dina who's providing motivation. She's giving me support. I have wine that's fueling this. Shout out to Bella Sierra. Product of Italy, Forza Italia. They have the World Cup qualifying games coming up. They play Macedonia. And then they play Portugal if they beat Macedonia. But my Inter update, I already said that. Let's see here. What do I... Oh, the Sixers. So, James Harden. I'm on record saying that I wasn't too... let me say this. I thought that we give up too much for James Harden. I'm a fan of Andre Drummond. I'm a fan of Seth Curry. I thought we gave up too much. Fuck Ben Simmons. I'm just going to say that. Fuck him. Literally, fuck Ben Simmons. But I thought we gave up too much. That is not the case. We didn't give up anything. We gave up 2 bench players and a guy who didn't want to play for us, for a bona fide superstar. And the team looks happy. Everybody's happy. And we're gelling. So I'm expecting a win tonight. We play the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're a good team, but we're a great team. And yeah, I'm gonna watch the game, and You know, I'm excited. Like literally every minute of the game now is exciting. Like it used to be like, you know, crunch time would be exciting and when it was just Joel and Tobias Harris. But now we have a big three, and Tobias Harris isn't even included in that big three. It's Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, and Joel Embiid. But ladies and gentlemen, like that's my rant. I've been running my mouth for quite a I don't even know. The wine's getting to my head now. I just want to say thank you. Literally, I just want to say thank you. I'm going to chug this glass of wine, and then I'm going to sign off. So thank you for tuning in to Vibrations with Vito. You are going to get this video soon. Like, I'm serious. You're going to see a lot of me. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making this. Keep praying for me as I keep praying for you. Pray for all the people and the civilians of Ukraine because they need it. I hope the problems that are going on there stop ASAP because we are heading in a very difficult situation. I work at a nursing home, and the people at the nursing home were alive for World War II, and I thought that's why we had World War II, so we could establish like, oh, this is your country, mind your borders. But now Russia, I'm not going to get into that, but pray for the people of Ukraine. They need it. They literally need it. It's not right. It's really not right. I hope God protects all the people there. But like I said, keep praying for me as I keep praying for you. I'm so grateful. If you are watching this video, I'm going to chug this glass of wine, and I'm going to sign off. So thank you.
Chug, 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 chug. Woo!
Take care. Brush your hair.